Welcome to the deep dive. We live in an era where technology is just moving at light speed, constantly recalibrating everything, challenging our traditional
It
systems.
really is.
And you see it so clearly, maybe most profoundly, in education. So the big question is, how do we keep up? How do we adapt and make sure learning actually works for everyone in this constantly shifting landscape?
That's the core challenge.
So today, we're plunging into something genuinely revolutionary: artificial intelligence agents. AI agents and their profound impact on education.
Exactly. And when we say an AI agent, what we're picturing is basically an autonomous system.
Autonomous.
Yeah, think of it as a sophisticated, smart helper. It's capable of doing specific tasks, analyzing huge amounts of data and making decisions with a certain degree of independence.
Okay.
And the crucial thing is, unlike older software, they often learn. They adapt their behavior over time to get better at their goals. They're not just passive tools. They're active participants, constantly evolving.
Right, active and evolving. So our mission today is really to unpack how these agents are changing teaching, transforming how we learn, and even maybe streamlining how education is managed.
hmm
The goal here is to give you a shortcut, a way to quickly grasp these innovations, the benefits, the challenges too, and the future potential of AI in schools, universities, well, everywhere.
Because this really matters, doesn't it? Whether you're a student, an educator, a parent trying to figure out your kid's future learning, or honestly just someone curious about how tech is reshaping our world.
Which is probably most people listening.
Exactly. Grasping this topic is becoming, essential. This deep dive is about getting that knowledge fast, seeing those aha moments, and definitely not feeling buried under information overload.
Okay, let's get into it then. It sounds a bit like science fiction sometimes, but where are these AI agents actually, showing up in the classroom right now? What are the real examples?
Oh, it's definitely happening, and it's really changing the day-to-day experience. One of the biggest impact areas we're seeing is personalized tutoring.
Tutoring, okay?
Yeah, intelligent tutors powered by AI. They often use things like reinforcement learning or adaptive algorithms, and they can precisely adapt a learning content to one student's specific pace and style. It's almost like having a super responsive human coach.
Like Duolingo or Khan Academy, are those examples?
Precisely. Platforms like Duolingo for languages or Khan Academy for, math and science, they use AI to offer exercises tailored just for you, immediate feedback, no judgment.
And does it work?
Well, here's a pretty compelling stat. An EdTech magazine report, this is from 2024, found that 65% of students using these AI tutors reported significant improvements, particularly in understanding complex topics.
65%.
Yeah.
That's substantial. What is it about the AI tutoring that helps so much? Is it the instant feedback or the adapting part?
It's really a mix, but that constant adaptation is probably key. The AI is tracking every single interaction. It sees not just wrong answers, but why a student might be struggling with a concept.
Ah, okay.
And then it adjusts. It changes the difficulty, how the material is presented right in real time to keep the student in that sweet spot, their optimal learning zone. Challenged, but not overwhelmed.
So it's this continuous personalized tweaking that leads to deeper understanding.
Exactly. That's what seems to drive the deeper
That
comprehension.
makes sense. So, okay, beyond that direct student learning, where else are these agents popping up in the education world?
Well, another huge area is administrative automation. This is maybe less flashy, but really important for teachers.
Right, the behind the scenes stuff.
Exactly. AI can streamline all those repetitive tasks.
Mm-hmm.
For educators, think grading exams, managing class schedules, maybe even allocating resources more effectively. Tools like Gradescope, for instance.
Great.
Yeah, it helps teachers grade exams much, much faster and with surprising accuracy. It can even spot common mistakes across the whole class automatically.
That sounds like a dream for most teachers, I imagine. But any downsides there? Like, is the automated grading always accurate? Or is it hard to learn these systems?
That's a fair question. I mean, for well-defined tasks, the accuracy is generally very high. But yes, there's an initial setup, there's a learning curve for the educators. That is a factor.
But the payoff is worth it.
Once it's integrated, the time savings are huge. It genuinely frees up teachers.
Hmm.
They can spend less time on paperwork and more time on, actual teaching, mentoring, that crucial human connection.
That really is a powerful shift. What about understanding the students themselves, maybe beyond just test scores?
Right. That's where educational data analysis comes in. AI systems can crunch just vast amounts of student data, anonymized, of course, to find patterns.
Patterns in learning.
Yeah, learning patterns, predicting how a student might perform, even flagging students who might be at risk of disengaging or dropping out.
Really? It can predict that.
There's strong evidence. A UNESCO study back in 2023 highlighted that schools using this kind of AI-based predictive analysis actually cut their dropout rates by an average of 20%.
20%? Wow, that's a tangible impact on keeping kids in school.
It really is. It shows a real pathway impact.
Okay, and what about making education accessible for everyone, especially students who face barriers?
AI is making massive strides there in accessibility and inclusion. It's empowering students, say, with disabilities or maybe language barriers.
How so?
Through tools like automatic translation, real-time subtitles during lectures, voice assistants. Think about things most of us use, like Google Translate or Microsoft's Immersive Reader.
Right, those are pretty common.
They really help students who struggle with language or reading. They break down these barriers dynamically, barriers that used to seem, well, insurmountable. It just opens up content to so many more learners.
That's incredibly important for equity, truly inclusive. And what about making learning more hands-on, more experiential?
Yeah, that too. AI combined with VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality, is creating these incredibly immersive learning environments.
Like virtual field trips.
Sort of, but even more interactive. Think about projects like Labster. They offer these sophisticated virtual lab simulations.
So you can do experiments virtually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Students can experiment in totally safe, controlled environments.
Mm.
It makes complex science concepts way more tangible, more engaging, without needing, expensive physical labs or dealing with safety risks.
So it's democratizing access to those kinds of experiences, which were often just for well-funded schools. That seems like a huge step for equity in learning.
Absolutely. It really helps level the playing field, especially for institutions that maybe don't have vast resources.
Okay, so bringing it all together, what does this actually mean for the student, for the teacher, for the system as a whole? When you put AI agents into education, what are the really big wins we're seeing?
The benefits are genuinely profound. First, and maybe the most critical, is that personalization we talked about.
Right.
AI's ability to tailor content to individual needs just significantly boosts retention to keep students engaged. There was a McKinsey report just this year, 2024, suggesting students in these personalized AI programs can improve academic performance by up to 30%.
30%?
Yeah.
That's incredible. What do you think is the main driver behind that big a jump? Is it the instant feedback or the constant adapting?
It seems to be the combination, the synergy between them. When the AI figures out exactly where a student needs help and then gives targeted resources or explanations right then at that moment of need.
It stops them getting stuck.
Exactly. It prevents frustration. It solidifies understanding much better than, a one-size-fits-all lecture or textbook chapter. It keeps students challenged but supported. That seems to be the key to that boost.
Okay, that makes total sense. And thinking bigger picture beyond one student, how scalable is this? Can it reach lots of people?
Oh, the scalability is immense.
Yeah.
AI agents can potentially serve millions of students all at the same time. Yeah. This is absolutely vital for things like MOOC's massive open online courses.
Right, those huge online classes.
Exactly. Platforms designed for hundreds of thousands of students engaging at once. AI makes that feasible and potentially much more effective. It really democratizes learning access in a way traditional classrooms just can't, across continents even.
And for the teachers, we mentioned efficiency before. It sounds like a huge time saver.
It is. And it's not just about saving time. It's about refocusing their effort.
Refocusing how?
Well, by automating those repetitive, time-consuming tasks. The grading, the admin AI, lets educators concentrate on what humans do best. The interaction, the mentorship, fostering those deeper learning moments.
So less drudgery, more connection.
Pretty much. It frees them up to truly connect with students, maybe design more creative lessons, provide that invaluable human guidance that AI, can't replicate.
Which brings us back to that global access point, doesn't it? Breaking down barriers, geographical, economic.
It absolutely does. AI can deliver online educational resources to underserved regions, places where learning opportunities might be scarce or non-existent otherwise.
So bridging knowledge gaps.
Exactly. Offering specialized instruction where local experts might not be available, it really could help level the playing field for communities with limited access.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly exciting, transformative even, but the experienced teacher or maybe the concerned parent, they're probably thinking, okay, what's the catch?
Right.
Because with great
Yeah,
power,
great responsibility, yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
So what are the pitfalls? What are the shadows in this bright picture? The hurdles, the practical things we really need to grapple with as AI moves into education?
That's absolutely the critical question.
Yeah.
And there are significant challenges. One of the starkest is simply the digital divide.
Access to the tech itself.
Right. According to UNESCO figures from 2023, something like 43% of the entire world's population still doesn't have internet access.
43%. That's almost half.
It is. And that immediately limits where and how effectively these AI tools can be used, especially in rural areas or lower-income communities.
Mhm.
Instead of solving inequality, it risks actually making it worse if we're not careful. Access is fundamental.
A huge barrier right out of the gate.
Mm.
Okay, what else? What about the people involved? The teachers, the students interacting with these new tools?
Well, there's often just a natural resistance to change. It's understandable.
Sure.
Educators, students too, they might be reluctant to jump into new AI technologies.
Right.
Maybe because they haven't had the right training, or they just don't feel comfortable or trust these new systems yet.
So it requires a mindset shift and skills.
Definitely. A big shift in mindset and acquiring new skills for pretty much everyone involved. Proper, comprehensive training is just crucial.
And these sophisticated systems, they can't be cheap to set up, right?
Yes.
School budgets are often tight.
You're absolutely right. The initial cost is a major hurdle. Implementing these advanced AI systems, it needs significant upfront investment.
In what? Hardware? Software?
Both. Robust infrastructure, specialized software licenses, and as we said, those comprehensive training programs for the staff. It's a big obstacle for many institutions, particularly those without large budgets.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for them to get access and then scale these tools effectively.
Okay. And what about ethics? Data privacy? When you're tracking student interactions so closely.
That is a massive concern. The sheer volume of student data being collected raises huge questions about privacy, about potential misuse of personal information.
Are there rules for this?
There are regulations like GDPR in Europe, but compliance is complex, and the technology often moves faster than the regulations. Ensuring ethical use and protecting student data is paramount and, frankly, challenging.
And bias. Can the algorithms themselves be biased?
Absolutely. That's another critical ethical challenge. If the AI systems aren't trained on truly diverse data sets, they can accidentally perpetuate or even amplify existing biases. For example, a study from Stanford just this year found some automated essay grading systems tended to favor writing styles more common among students from certain cultural backgrounds.
So it could disadvantage some students unfairly.
Precisely. We have to be incredibly vigilant about building fairness and equity right into the algorithms from the start and constantly auditing them.
Okay, so serious challenges. Access, cost, training, privacy, bias. Wow. With all that in mind, let's look ahead. What's on the horizon? What's coming next for AI in education? And how do we navigate these challenges to make sure it really is a force for good?
Well, despite the hurdles, the future is genuinely exciting. The pace of advancement is incredible. We're seeing huge progress in language models, for instance.
Like the ones that power chatbots.
Exactly, but becoming much more sophisticated. Think about models like those from XAI, like Grok. They suggest AI agents could evolve into truly interactive learning companions.
Companion.
Yeah, capable of having really nuanced, almost Socratic dialogues with students, answering complex, open-ended questions in real time, guiding them through tricky problem solving. It's a level of interaction we haven't really seen before.
So like a super tutor, but even more conversational and probing. That does sound powerful. What about tackling that data privacy issue we mentioned? Any tech solutions there?
There are promising approaches. We're seeing integrations with emerging tech, like federated learning.
Federated learning, what's that?
It's basically a way to train AI models without the raw data ever leaving the user's device, like a student's tablet.
So the data stays local.
Exactly. The AI learns from the data right there, locally, and only anonymized insights or model updates are shared centrally, not the personal data itself. This could significantly reduce privacy risks.
And maybe help with connectivity issues too. Less need to send huge data streams back and forth.
Potentially, yes. It makes systems more robust and potentially less reliant on constant high bandwidth connections and massive central data storage. It's a very promising avenue.
So if we zoom out, what's the sort of grand vision here? What's the ultimate goal for AI's role?
I think the future of education really hinges on our ability as a society, as educational systems, to integrate AI not just effectively, but equitably.
Equitably. That seems key.
It is. It's about making sure these benefits truly reach all students, regardless of their background, their location, their circumstances. But achieving that vision, well, it means facing those ongoing challenges, those retos, head on.
What are the absolute must-dos then?
We absolutely must ensure real equity and broad accessibility, especially for communities that have been historically left behind or underserved. That's number one.
Okay.
Then there's the critical need for thorough, continuous teacher training. Educators need to be able to use AI effectively, yes, but also critically understanding its limits, its potential biases.
Not just users, but informed users.
Precisely. We also need clear, strong ethical regulations. Rules to protect privacy, prevent algorithmic bias, ensure transparency, and we need to develop AI models that are sustainable, economically viable, not just flashy tech for the wealthiest institutions.
And adaptable.
Yes. Finally, designing AI systems that are culturally adaptable, culturally sensitive, that respect diverse contexts. That's vital if this is going to work globally.
So, quite a list of imperatives for getting it right.
It is. It requires conscious effort and a careful planning.
Okay, so just to recap, we've explored how AI agents are genuinely transforming education. They're personalizing learning in ways we couldn't imagine before. They're boosting efficiency for teachers, freeing them up, and they're expanding access to knowledge on a potentially global scale.
The potential is undeniable.
But we've also dug into the fact that realizing this huge potential means tackling some really significant hurdles: technical, financial, ethical, social. It's definitely a journey, not a destination we've arrived at.
Absolutely. The transformation is happening now.
Yeah.
And its path forward is, well, it's thrilling, but it needs careful steering.
So considering everything we've discussed today, AI's incredible power to reshape learning, enhance it, but also the very real obstacles we need to navigate for it to be adopted widely and fairly, what do you think is the single most important question? The one crucial question we need to answer to ensure this powerful technology truly benefits every single learner on the planet?